I am going to watch the stream and see how it goes on Twitch to make sure we have sound. We do have sound. Excellent. I'm going to turn that sound off. Stop doing that. Why do you do that, Apple? Okay. All right, and Dementia Radio now, and recording in 3, 2, 1.
Recorded live on DementiaRadio.org, it's the Funny Music Podcast, brought to you by FuMP.com, where you can download new free comedy songs twice a week. Now, here's your hosts, Devo Spice and the great Luke Ski.
What the fuck was that?
I'm dancing along to the music. Can you not hear it?
The timing of that was so perfect.
Were you able to hear the intro music?
Yeah, I was able to hear the intro music, but all of a sudden, when I was supposed to speak, all of a sudden there was...
Oh, you heard that? Wow. Okay. Yeah, that was Wildcard subscribing at Tier 1 for the 56th month in a row. So thank you, Wildcard. I thought you were like my little dance that I was doing. I thought that's what you were complaining about.
No, I would never complain about the
stupid
dance
little
moves
dance
of Mr. Thomas Rockwell.
Okay. So... welcome to episode 794 of the Funny Music Podcast. The title of this week's episode is Acceptable Hope, which I just put in the chat for us to refer to later. And, yeah, let's do the catch-up thing.
Let's get caught up with what Devo and Luke have been up to since last week. Or else Devo, if Luke bailed and didn't show up.
Hey, what?
No, he's right.
So, Luke, what you been up to?
Working literally every day except for one day. And it's not the one day you would think it would be. I started a new job at the United States Postal Service at one of their facilities, as the position is called Mail Handler Assistant. So basically what that entails is I stand next to, they have like a big conveyor belt system that packages or trays of mail go through that are all, that all have zip codes on them, and then they get scanned by some automatic scanner at one end, and then because of that scanner, it knows which leg of the conveyor belt to send it down so that people like me are waiting there, so I can then pick it up, look at the first 3 digits of the zip code, and then turn around and place it inside a big cardboard bin that's on a pallet that's, going to that set of zip codes. And then later on, people with forklifts will take those bins over to trucks that will take them to the other parts of the country they're supposed to go to. So basically, it's, a manual labor thing that is, if you're somebody who can very quickly, look at numbers and match them to the right thing and, continue to do that over and over again, it's a good job for you. Thus far, they have had us working 11:30 a.m. to 6:15 p.m. with a 45-minute lunch. So it's a 6-hour day, working 6 days a week. The first week, however, due to orientation and blah blah blah, we actually ended up working 8 days in a row for our first week, and then we got one day off, which was this past Tuesday, which I spent all of that day at Kalani's place doing all of my laundry. Because it had fallen way behind. But her sister, Kelly, was in town, and fortunately, Kelly was able to be there for Kalani's chemo appointment on Friday the 29th, and she will also be there for her chemo appointment tomorrow morning before she heads back to the Midwest. And I, of course, need to go to work. So basically my life has been all about this job, having to be on my feet for 6 hours a day with no chairs
That sucks.
It's very sucky. And in fact, many of the people there, and they hired us at this time of year so that we could all get trained, so that by the time the peak season shows up, which is, leading into, just before Thanksgiving, and then all of December for Christmas, leading into New Year's, they call that peak season. And they said during those times of year, we will very likely be getting scheduled for literally 12 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Jesus.
So I have that to look forward to. The upside of that is like, yay, overtime, yeah.
So you're full-time. Are you getting benefits?
Eventually, yeah, I'll be getting benefits.
Okay.
It's weird. It's weird that they have us working 6 hours, 6 days a week, because that's 36 hours a week. And don't you normally have to hit?
You have to hit. It's either 29 or 35. I forget which. I was wondering,
okay.
I was trying to do the math in my head minus the 45-minute lunch break, and I was wondering, if they were doing it to get you, just under the threshold so they didn't have to give you health insurance or something like that, because I know companies do that.
I think the idea is that they're getting us used to what this job is by giving us 6-hour shifts at first, so that eventually we'll be doing 8-hour shifts.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, but so still, for the time being, for at least I'm assuming the first 6 weeks here, it's going to be, 6 hours of work, 6 days a week, so 36 hours a week. So we did get some bonus pay for Labor Day, whether we actually worked on Labor Day or not.
Cool.
Which I did. So that'll be like a little extra bump in that paycheck, which I won't get until September 26th. My first payday is September 12th, which was another thing that it was another week behind, I thought, when it was going to be. So, the upside is, everybody I've talked to who works there, apparently the batch of people that was hired, which was, me and 2 other guys as mail handling assistants, and then 5 people who were hired as clerks, which do a whole different job somewhere else on the factory facility, we're, the first batch of people they've hired since about COVID. So, the people who work there stay there because the pay is good, the benefits are good, et cetera, et cetera. So the woman who runs the plant has been working there for 41 years. And most of the people I was working with the first week was I asked them how long I've been there. It's I've been here 27 years. I've been here 19 years. So once people work there, they stay there. I also have the potential opportunity to, once I've been there long enough, I could get training to be a forklift driver or some of the other vehicles like that, so that I could do that at the plant instead. Or there's other positions that I could apply for eventually. But for right now, me and the other 2 guys that are hired with me, Ricky and Lionel, as MHAs, we're kind of the bottom of the totem pole for the time being. Just learning all the various, I've worked with 3 different sorting machines, and there's packages, and then there's bins full of letters. But it's all basically the same thing, conveyor belt. Here's the thing. What's the zip code? Put it in that bin. And then when those bins fill up, you close them with the scanner thing, beep, and then you push them out somewhere else, and somebody with a forklift comes and takes it to where the semi-trucks are. So it's very physical, being on my feet, yeah. So the most days when I have come home from work, I just immediately collapse and watch TV, There have been some days I've just come home and gone straight to bed and didn't even eat dinner. I was just so tired. So it's going to take a while to acclimate to this. And then, of course, there's the whole notion of, will I ever be allowed to ask for days off work? And theoretically, yes. But there's a very good chance I might not get to be able to go home and see my family over Christmas because, it's the post office and it's Christmas. So trying to be hey, the busiest days of your year, can I not work those days?
Yeah.
They're going to be haha, you're such a funny comedian. No, you have to work all those days. So I might have to wait until January to go home and see my family. Maybe I could time it for my birthday or whatever. But I'm assuming that eventually I will be allowed to submit, to ask for the days off so that I can do MarsCon.
Yeah, I imagine by then you should be able to take a couple days off at least.
Yeah, because like for me right now, it's not even like I want days off right now. It's like I want to know the date at which I will be allowed to request days off, so that I can, when that date comes, I can immediately put in for the 5 days of MarsCon weekend. The day before, the 3 days of the con, and the day after, just so I can make sure for sure I get those days. And since it's not around any kind of known holiday, I don't imagine they'd care. So
MarsCon is a holiday, but
dip.
not one that the post office pays attention to. So
Yeah. So I can't even remember the last time I was properly on the FuMPCast with you. Was that like August 12th or something?
maybe, yeah. It's been a little while.
Yeah. So or maybe I was on that week. I just don't have it in my calendar. Oh wait, no, the 20th. Yeah, I was on the FuMPCast with you then. So okay. I went to the K-pop Demon Hunter sing-along at the movie theater. Yay! That was actually that was like my last night of freedom. The night before I started the new day job, I'm like, well, I'm going to go hang out with Hunter and the Tasha boys and enjoy my last night as a person who's allowed to, have any kind of hope, whether or not it's appropriate. I forgot what the thing is now. I got to open the thing. That was a perfect time for me to say it. Acceptable hope, yes. That was my last night of acceptable hope, was going to see K-pop. So yeah, then it was work. I was... I had to go straight from work to the Forum to do it, but I did go see Weird Al perform at the Forum with Tony Goldmark and a few other friends, and I had seen the concert previously, back in Riverside, and so there wasn't a lot different about it. He did perform the song for the cover. He performed "You Can Call Me Al," which was awesome and funny. I appreciated that they actually did the choreography from the music video at the end of it. So that was, it's like good. Thank goodness that choreography was there, or I would have been perturbed. I went to see Freakier Friday when I actually got to, like, Monday night. I got Monday, which was Labor Day. There was so little mail that we got out a couple hours earlier than we were normally supposed to that day. So I got over to Irvine early enough for me and Kalani and her sister Kelly to go see Freakier Friday. And dang, that was a funny movie. Like,
was
it's
it?
like, remember comedies? Remember when there used to be comedy films at the theater? Yeah, it's like, yay, comedy movies. Freaking Jamie Lee Curtis nailing it. Lindsay Lohan nailing it. The freaking all the other new characters, the new young people like this. It was a very funny, well-made comedy film. So, highly recommend. And then, like I said, Tuesday was doing laundry. and then I'm back here and I'm back to work. So that's basically been my life and will continue to be my life. And I'm going to have, as hopefully you may or may not have noticed, everybody, we started the FuMPCast an hour later because that way I can actually get home in time to be on the FuMPCast and do it from here and not have to be doing it from my car in LA traffic. So for the immediate time being, we're going to have the FuMPCast start at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, for I'm assuming the next at least 6 weeks, and we'll see how things go from there.
We'll probably see how it goes, but I'm right now I'm of the mindset of just leaving it here because then I don't have to worry about the ending of the show being wrong.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. That's cool with me. Other things I wanted to mention is that, I'm basically because I've been broke all year, I really don't have the money or the time to make new comedy songs. Whatever spare time I have, when I have energy, I'm going to be working on my animatics. So, the stuff I did for the Dr. Demento tribute album is probably the last comedy music stuff I'm going to be doing for a while. But I am trying very hard not to completely give up hope that, I may be able to still at some point have a career doing creative comedy stuff. But for now, this is what I need to do to survive because I can't, it would be unfair for me to try to get my family or whatever to, it's like, hey, Mom, can you pay all of my bills just so I don't have to work a day job? It's like, no, that's not how it works. Unfortunately, the ease thing, they went under. They didn't hire me back, all that crap. And then I, got unemployment, and then I was taking care of Kalani, and then it got to the point like, well, now I need to find something, and this was the something. And I guess the fact that the timing worked out because this particular facility hadn't hired anybody since, whenever, 2020. I guess I happened to luck upon that at the right time and place on the internet to apply, and I'm not sure what it is about me that made them say, like, hey, this is the right guy for the job, but whatever. I have something now. I just need to keep taking, 1,200 milligrams of, of ibuprofen every day. Not all at once, but, just space it out throughout the day so that my feet won't hurt as much. So that's what's been going on with me. What's been going on with you, Devo Spice?
Well, last weekend we went to Connecticut to see my family, and by we I mean me, Jen, and Darren. Jeremy did not come because he had work to do for school, like that he was supposed to be doing all summer, and didn't. So he had to finish it this weekend before school started. And he also apparently thought he had school started on Monday, which was Labor Day. And, we didn't realize that until Saturday, when we were already in Connecticut, and Jeremy's home, and my wife was texting him, and we're like, no, Monday's Labor Day. You don't go back to school until Tuesday. And he was like, I don't know. So, and then I found out, we have a family calendar on Google, and it said Monday was Jeremy's first day. So either it may have accidentally gotten moved, but I think that's where the confusion was. But speaking of comedies, I went to see The Toxic Avenger the other night.
Cool.
It was fantastic. It was very funny. It was pretty gory. I'd say about on par with the original film, just better special effects. There was one joke that I thought was hilarious and nobody else in the theater got, which was like an inside writing joke. Like, this movie knows what it is, okay? It's and it has fun with it. There's a scene towards the beginning of the film where Peter Dinklage, who plays the main character, before he turns into the Toxic Avenger, is outside this building with his son, and there's another one of his neighbors getting berated by a developer who wants to buy the building, and the lady just refusing to sell. So the guy kidnaps her cat and threatens to kill it. And then the woman says, okay, I'll sign. And then he takes the cat and goes and gets in his car and drives away. And she's like, hey, my cat. And he rolls down the window and throws the cat out onto the street. So Peter Dinklage runs out into the road, into traffic. Cars are swerving around him. He picks up the cat, brings it back, hands it to the woman. And off screen you hear, hey, he just saved the cat. And I lost it. For those of you who don't know, there's a screenwriting book called Save the Cat that talks about like a formula for how to write modern movies, and saving the cat is one of the things that they talk about doing in this book. And just to lampshade it like that, I thought was brilliant. So it's a very funny movie. If you can handle the gore, definitely go see it. They're actually using the revenue that the movie is making to cancel medical debt in this country. They're just buying up medical debt with the profits and just wiping it out. I forget how many millions of dollars they've already wiped out, but I was like, that's amazing. So if you can go see The Toxic Avenger, besides having a good time, it's for a good cause. Yeah, very good film. Other than that, I've been burning CDs. I was actually up till 2:30 last night finishing up just a couple of CD projects just because I wanted to get them off my plate, because I need to focus on this freelance job that I've been working on like a little at a time, and now it's like, okay, I need to focus on it because it's due at the end of the month. But I had to do 100 CDs for Dead by 28 and 30 CDs for Carla Ulbrich of 3 different of her albums. So I got all those done and out. Today I posted the first segment of the September edition of The Insider for my Patreon backers. So if you're one of my Patreon backers at the podcast level, you can go listen to that at patreon.com/DevoSpice. And the first book I narrated for Audible since that course that I took is now available on Audible.
Awesome.
So, Profitable Plumbing, Everything I Wish I Knew Before Starting My Plumbing Company, Real-World Lessons from the Pipe Trenches to the Profit Line by Matthew S. Clary is now available on Audible. On the off chance that anyone listening to this is actually in the market for that type of book, contact me because I have promotional codes I can give you so you can get it for free. But yeah, I was super excited to see when it went up because it's like my first one from since I took the course, and things are starting to fall into place with that. I have a second book that I'm about halfway through narrating now, and I got to finish that up hopefully soon. And then I'll just try to get more because money and I need it. So that's about it. That's all that's going on with me. So Mikey Mason and David W. Jacobsen were not able to join us this week, and I wasn't able to schedule anything. I know David was traveling. I forget what Mikey's excuse was, but I did invite them. Maybe they'll join us later or something. I don't know. But let's get into some music. First song of the week is by Mikey Mason. Here is Nature's Orgy.
The fuck just fills the skies. Fucking and fucking, it gets all in my eyes and down my nose and down my throat and all over my skin. And I can't breathe or think it all when it fucking begins. Nature's orgy has gone too far. Free bukkake on my car. Eyes are streaming, lungs are scarred. Nature's orgy has gone too far. Maybe I said forest fires in a former life. Comic retribution pierces this one like a knife. Maybe it's not personal, not hostile like I think. Natural selection said that I'm the weakest link. Trees are fucking and fucking, the fuck just fills the skies. Fucking and fucking, it gets all in my eyes and down my nose and down my throat and all over my skin. And I can't breathe or think it all when they fucking begins. Nature's orgy has gone too far. Free bukkake on my car. Eyes are streaming, lungs are scarred. Nature's orgy has gone too far. Trees are fucking and fucking, the fuck just fills the skies. Fucking and fucking, it gets all in my eyes. Fucking and fucking, it's all over my skin. Fucking and fucking, and I can't breathe again. Nature's orgy has gone too far. Free bukkake on my car.
from his new album, Off Brand. Congratulations to Mikey Mason for being the first FuMP artist to work the word bukkake into his lyrics. Let's do some news.
This is the FuMP.
And everything in your body hurts all the time. When everything is going wrong, it's time to sing along with this stupid song. When you
But come on over, baby, and we'll do it Asgard style. Come on. I'm calling thunder and lightning from the blue. 'Cause you're a marvel in the sack, and my Avenger will assemble for you.
punching f***ing Nazis, a fist right to their face, making damn sure that they always know that they're not the master race.
Stick your head in a barrel of shaving cream. Be nice and clean. Shave every day and you'll always look keen. That's the Funny Music Project at thefump.com.
Dr. Demento is retiring, and the FuMP is paying tribute.
Thanks for the music, the memories, dementia, and the
Fruits of the Smogberry Trees, the FuMP's tribute to Dr. Demento, is available now as a 2-CD set or digital download.
Great Demento, play my song. Only 19 minutes long. Fish heads, roly-poly fish heads, trees of smoggy.
Featuring over 2 hours of music with your favorite FuMP artists paying tribute to Dr. Demento and covering some of his most popular songs.
Dead puppies.
Fruits of the Smogberry Trees, the FuMP's tribute to Dr. Demento, is now available in the store at thefump.com. That's THEFUMP.com. Order your copy now. Like, right now!
Time for funny music news. Something, something, something.
Yes, I know both of those promos end the same way. Bite me. In the news, Lonely Island member Jorma Taccone was injured in a fall recently. He was hanging a light inside of a barn in his home in Connecticut, and he fell 20 feet off of a ladder. He shattered his pelvis and detached his sacrum from his spine. That's the bone at the base of your spine. He appeared recently on the Lonely Island and Seth Meyers podcast remotely via his hospital bed to tell the story. Apparently, he borrowed a rickety old ladder from a neighbor who warned him not to use it because it didn't have proper footing and wasn't very sturdy. He said it would be fine. It was not fine. His recovery is expected to take about 6 months and require extensive rehab. He's going to require multiple surgeries, which they're trying to schedule now. He has been able to stand already with the help of some nurses and staff, so that's a good sign. So we wish him a speedy and complete recovery, and hope everything is okay for him. Richard Cheese is now accepting pre-orders for his new book, Grateful, 25 Years of Music, Movies, and Medical Emergencies with Richard Cheese and Lounge Against the Machine. This is the new autobiography about the 25-year history of Richard Cheese and Lounge Against the Machine, written by Mark Jonathan Davis, a.k.a. Richard Cheese. Grateful Part 1, Stranger in a Strange Lounge, is available on ebook as of October 2025. Hardcover of the full book arrives in the fall of 2026. Pre-orders will begin tomorrow at shop.richardcheese.com. That's tomorrow, Friday, September 5th at noon. shop.richardcheese.com. And as we mentioned earlier in the show, the FuMPCast is moving back to 10 p.m. Eastern to work around Luke's schedule, but it also will allow me to take classes on Thursday night if they do come up, because I can be home by 10 after acting class, but not 9. So I actually have one more class next week, but we won't have to move the FuMPCast. I'll just come home and do the show. Luke, what you got?
Well, first of all, I at least wanted to mention that the latest episode of Luke Ski's Animation and Stuff podcast was posted on August 31st. It is with guest Garrett Henry Smith, who is known to people who listen to Tony's podcast, Escape from Vault Disney, as over the past few years, he's mainly appeared on the show as a bunch of various characters, including Santa Claus, Dracula, Sam the Eagle, and others, until he eventually, through a series of wacky stuff that happened on the Yule Log episodes, kind of turned into his normal self for the episode. But I asked him to be on so that we could, I could get my August episode recorded and posted out there. And the main topic he wanted to talk about was the stop motion animation films of Tim Burton. So that was kind of our main talking points. I also talked about some other recent movies I've seen that are animated, and then and just you can go check it out at luke.ski/podcast, or just go to wherever you get your podcasts and search for Luke Ski's Animation and Stuff podcast, and you can find the episode. So there you go. The other thing I wanted to say is just before I was here, when I was driving home, I had a telephone conversation with Mr. Jeff Morris, who has been hard at work for the past several months, helping Dr. Demento put together the retrospective episodes that have been coming out. Now, the way it was originally scheduled, the one that was coming out this weekend was going to cover the years 2000 to 2010, and then there was going to be, after that week, it was going to be a flashback week episode with clips from, previous episodes that aren't in the archive yet. And then after that was going to be an episode covering 2011 through 2025. So while this isn't, it's like this hasn't been officially announced anywhere. But I asked Jeff, can I say this on the air? Am I going to get in trouble for saying this? And he's like, no, it's pretty much probably going to happen. So yeah, you can go ahead and tell people about it. So as they have been trying to put together that 2000 to 2010 episode, they've basically come to realize that there's way more than, they're trying to keep these episodes to 2 hours, maybe a little over 2 hours, but there's way too much to be talked about and to cover. So what they decided to do is, instead of that flashback episode, they're going to just, dispense with doing a flashback and figure out a way to divide up, the time from the year 2000 to the year 2025 over those 3 episodes. Oh, cool. So we don't know exactly what year it'll cut off at, for the episode coming up. So it'll be, they're figuring it out as we speak, because they've already, Dr. D's already recorded his copy, and they're trying to figure out how to make all this work, just because they can't, it was kind of weird that, the first 25 years of the show got like 10 hours worth of episodes, and then the last 30 years of the show only got like, was only going to get 6 hours worth of episodes. So now they're adding 2 more hours to it. So good, So this coming weekend's episode will be 2002, I'm guessing 2007, 2008-ish, and then the next 2 episodes will, be the rest of the time leading up to 2025. So that's, once Jeff and them have come to the exact, configuration of what it is, I'm sure he'll be posting something about it in, the Dr. Demento Facebook group and letting everyone know what's up. So, yeah.
Cool. That's awesome.
So yeah, that's cool. That's cool, because basically it means that, the era of the show in which, me and Devo and everybody else at the FuMP, became, fairly ubiquitous, is going to get more attention. So yay, we did stuff for 30 years. So thank you, Jeff Morris, and thank you, Musical Mike, and of course to Dr. D himself. So that's cool. And I've been trying to get. I listened to the late '90s episode in its entirety already, because I wanted to hear that, because A, I was in it, and B, that was the era I first started listening to the show. But I've been trying to get caught up with the previous retrospectives, and it's hard for me to, because it's not like I have the ease job where I can just listen to stuff all day. And I can't listen to stuff at work yet, so I'm just listening to it like on the way to work and on my way home from work, when I'm not on the phone with people, and I'm trying to listen to it during my lunchtime, and people are trying to talk to me, and be social with me during my lunchtime, and I'm just like, don't you know what headphones mean? I'm trying to listen to something. So, but God, these retrospective episodes are so good. So
Yeah, they really are.
I'm so happy that they are being done. So, anyway, that was all the stuff I could think of for the news.
All right, tour dates. I'm assuming Steve Goody is back now, so Sundays in Nashville, Tennessee, Steve Goody hosting at the Bluebird. Sundays online, 2 Sleeps, the last Sunday of each month on Facebook, Lauren Mayer. Mondays online, Steve Goody and Brad Tassel at virtualcomedyshow.com. Wednesdays in San Francisco, California, Ben Vicini. On the 6th in Muncie, Indiana, Mikey Mason. On the 12th in Yorkshire, Virginia, Bussy. On the 12th in Brooklyn, New York, David W. Jacobsen. On the 13th in... oh boy, that's a word. Chincoteague? Chincotague, Virginia. Chincoteague. Somewhere in Virginia, Bussy. On the 14th on YouTube, Escape from the Secret Lab featuring the Consortium of Genius. I will look up how to pronounce that later. All right. Second song of the week, a new one by David W. Jacobsen. Here is Binoculars.
Look around a lot. She's my favorite spot. The first time that I gazed, I truly was amazed. I don't mind her imperfections, just charming to me. And we all let down our guards when we think no one can see. There, within my view, the world all hers and my binoculars. In the evening air, I just turn to stare. She is in my sights on my favorite nights. I'm happiest when I find the day she doesn't draw the blinds. Just before I go to sleep, it's my favorite time to peep. Keep it to myself, the secrets that we share. All the things I know from looking through her window. If I could tell her I would know the black and red dress looked good, and she decides what to wear in the town. I prefer later in her nightgown. There, within my view, world all hers and my binoculars. I stare out to see world all hers and my binoculars. My binoculars. When I'm feeling all forlorn, I look and see how she's adored. When there's no one to consort, life becomes a spectator sport. I won't tell a soul the secrets that we share as I peer in her abode. Think she doesn't know she shows. She's never heard my name and we'll probably never meet, but I feel I know her well from my perch across the street. There, within my view, world all hers and my binoculars. Binoculars. I stare out to see the world all hers and my binoculars.
Okay, I looked it up. I wasn't even close. It is pronounced Chincoteague. Who knew? All right. Feedback.
Making the internet absolutely ridiculous. Dementia Radio.
www.dementiaradio.org. Port 8027.
Please hang up and try again.
This is the part where there's feedback.
Feedback.
Feedback, you know that segment of the show we do about now?
Feedback. Feedback.
Feedback.
Okay, starting with a late comment from last week's show.
Yeah, well, he is a madman after all.
And he's on the loose!
Madman wrote, thanks to those who created the intro for me. I was going to record myself babbling, I've got feedback, deal with it, with just the cartoon picture Luke drew of me showing, but never got around to it. And when I was with someone who had actually capability to record, the timing didn't work, like at this year's MarsCon. Anyway, what was done is more appropriate and better than my idea. Thank you, Ken. And then on this week's show, now normally I wouldn't play the intro twice when there's two comments by the same person, but he specifically called me out to do so. So,
Yeah, well, he is a madman after all.
And he's on the loose!
Madman wrote on this week's show, or last week's show, I had also planned on seeing if Devo could record me at Con on the Cob, but due to a family situation, I won't be able to go. Since I work in the same city as a FuMP artist lives, I have been at the residence of a different FuMP artist multiple times over the past 6 months. I could have tried to get something recorded, but it didn't happen. Yes, I commented it again, so you would have to play the new intro twice. Deal with it. Thank you, Ken. And
Alvarant
wrote, what's this new job Luke has? I don't remember him mentioning it, or may I missed or forgot it. Anyway, congratulations. He didn't talk about it until this episode, so you didn't miss anything. And over on YouTube,
A-Log!
Oh my god, it's you, not again!
A-Log wrote, didn't know that Jake Dewar is doing a little rebranding. Not sure if that means he's giving up comedy for good, but here's hoping his songs are still great in their own merits. Also, if there's a way us podcast hosts can get a copy of that Fruits of the Smogberry Trees promo on MP3 so we can promote it too. And yes, as a matter of fact, you can always email me for it, and I did reply to A-Log's comment on YouTube with the download link that goes directly to my online backups, so you can pull it off of there. And if anyone wants the video promo, email me and I'll send you that too. All right, that's it for feedback.
Teasing. He's a teasing kind of guy. Now you have a job.
Yeah!
Tomorrow's song is by Dead by 28. And
Tuesday song is not yet posted.
I have a feeling I'm going to be rearranging the schedule. Haven't heard from Tuesday's artist in quite a while, so we'll see what happens. All right. I need a Spotify playlist topic. Luke, want to do jobs?
Sure, jobs are good. Be sure to include the song Bloodsuckin' Postman by the Four Postmen.
Ooh, good one. I'll do Stupid Day Job by Wally Pleasant. I'll do Business as Usual by me, because I can.
Yeah. Dog Eat Dog by Weird Al.
Dog Eat Dog. My job gave me a poncho.
Mikey Mason, Last Day at Work.
Yes! Love that song. Last Day at Work. Black Void Dragon in the chat says, y'all spoiled that it was a postal job on the end of the prior episode's Zinc mailbox. Right, that's right, I forgot we did. Okay, I'll come up with some more. I know there's plenty of them out there. All right, So Mikey Mason is at mikeymason.com and mikeymason.bandcamp.com. David W. Jacobsen is he at davidwjacobsen.com? Well, let's find out. David W. Jacobsen. He's at davidwj.com. That's right. Because Jacobsen is spelled E-N at the end, and nobody remembers that. So, it was smart of him to do that. All right. Let's get out of here. Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. I'm Devo Spice.
I'm Luke Ski.
And nobody else was here.
Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. You can listen live every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific at DementiaRadio.org and join us in the chat. Or subscribe to the podcast feed. Look us up on iTunes and be sure to leave us a review. Feedback for the show can be sent to info@thefump.com. The Funny Music Podcast is a production of Fidem Interactive, LLC, released under a Creative Commons share-alike license. Tell your friends. Tell your enemies. Shout it to random people on the street. And be sure to visit thefump.com for the latest funny songs. Tune in next week where you'll hear Luke Ski say,
M-A-L-E-M-A-N, I'm a mailman. Actually, I'm not a mailman.